Welcome to Candid Conversations. I am your co-host, Coach Ken Canion, aka the professor, aka the doctor, aka your guy. What's up, my co-host?
Hello, I am comedian Simply Net, Karen Canyon, and Wookie. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining us on this fabulous Thursday night.
You didn't say aka in front of none of yours.
AKA.
All right. So look, we back for another episode. If a man leads with his wallet, the relationship will never be solid. Here's why. Because then my whole value is predicated on the money that I make. All right? Just money. Like in the comment section. In the comment section, they say this. Well, a man's supposed to be a provider. This is what they say. And I say, well, wait a minute. We're dating. I'm on the fourth day. I'm not providing for you. You're not my wife. But but then I go deeper. I said, well, let's talk about what a provider is. See, a provider is 9 or 10 different things. A provider is a man that provides structure to help you meet your needs, your emotional needs, right? So when we just talk about provider finances, what about provider mental health? What about provider affection? What about one of your needs is communication? He's a provider of communication. What about a provider of this, of that? There are 10 things that a man provides, but why is it that they only focus on one thing? You know why? Because
a guy cannot give us some emotional support, and we'll let that ride. But if he doesn't pay for our nails or our hair, it's the issue. I never looked at it like that.
Right. And can I say one more thing? In this, since me and the Young Van Zandt were talking about this, in this modern
you just
day,
threw her name out there,
in this modern, Wendy, you got to do that.
Yeah, but go ahead.
In this modern dating, it's become so transactional. If you do this, I'll give you this. And then some people were talking about, well, other cultures don't pay. Some people in the comment section were saying, well, that's only in this culture, Black African American men. Well, the truth, I would say, other women don't do that. Other women ain't trying to just go out to get a free meal in other cultures.
Right. So you said that, this is modern day dating.
Yes.
Modern day dating.
Modern day, yes.
But I've noticed in the modern day dating, they want the old school benefits,
right,
without giving old school, right? It's like they want all the benefits of the man providing and going out and working hard and busting his back, but then they're not doing the cleaning and the cooking, and they want to split that.
Well, what it is, you said it. What people want is many times a woman, and I've had this in my timeline, it was so much vitriol, which I love it all. But what happens is many women, young women who've been taught incorrectly, they want a man to be a traditional man, but they don't want to be a traditional woman. See, therein lies the problem. See, they want the man to provide the bag, get the bag, do all of that. But I want to keep my bag and pay for the things I want, but I don't want to cook. Remember, the traditional dating or marriage was the woman cooked, homemaker. And I'm not saying they should do that.
Right.
But I'm saying you want the man to be traditional, but you don't want to be. And so what I'm saying is, and this is the part I hope my producer puts it in, is I talk about partnership. All of this is about partnership. The offering of it, it's not, many men won't even let you pay. They won't even let you pay. What it is, but the fact that you offered, let me tell you what it does to him. It says, okay, she's about partnership. She's not about entitlement. She's about him. Because at the end of the day, what if a man leaves with the bag? He take care of everything, but he gets sick. He can't work. What happens then? See, what it is his value was tied to his money. I saw a video on TikTok where this lady, the man couldn't work or pay, she left him. And I said to myself, that's the problem. His value has been associated with the money he brings. What if he can't? Then he has no more value?
But that's another thing. When and I'd like to know what the audience thinks about this. What are your thoughts? But when a man, you were saying that he feels. Would you say something about him feeling valued?
Yeah, he wants to feel valued, appreciated, and so just the offering to leave the tip. Just the offering, and he may not even let you.
But even and I was talking to the young girls. They were saying that when a man does that for them, it makes them feel valued. It makes them feel honored. It makes them feel safe. So
safe because they got.
Like that he got me. You know what I'm saying? That he got me.
I want to say this about men, and I want to educate women for a moment. And I hope we run this clip. Listen, lady, men are taught that even from a young man, it doesn't care what type of man it is. A man has been taught, has been groomed to know that if I'm going to get something of value, I have to invest something. Anything of value that I want, even men who go out and do things, maybe selling drugs or whatever, buy a house, whatever it is, a man knows that anything of value that I'm supposed to invest in, that I have to invest in it. And here's why I say that. If a man is attempting to get you to a place without investing in you, investing his time or his money or his resources or his talents, one of the four, I didn't say not just money. It could be one of the four. He might come fix your roof. He might not have money to give you, but he can fix your roof. If he's not willing to invest in you, he's not that interested in you.
Okay.
And so what I want people to understand is this right here, is that when a woman, why do I say you don't chase? Because a man needs to invest the time, the effort, the energy, because he sees you as something valuable. If he's not willing, that's why when they say he ain't calling, he's not consistent. I said, well, he's not really interested because he's not investing, because he doesn't see you as that valuable that I need to invest my time, my energy, my consistency to get you.
You said you had a question for me.
Yeah, the question is this right here. I needed to just get that off my chest.
Okay.
I forgot what the question was, but I needed to get that off my chest. But I got a question.
You got a question. Okay.
I got a question for you. There are a lot of ladies out there where the guy, it's a delicate balance, because what they do is they justify why he's not investing. Well, he's super busy. If a man wants to be with you, I don't give a damn how busy he is. See, it's not because I put up a video a long time ago when a man, that my first video that ever went viral, when a man says, I don't have enough time. So, but the idea is this, a lot of us are busy. The man, we're not valuing the time that he doesn't have. We're valuing the time that he does have. The time that I do have, am I willing to include you in it? Okay. And so my question, what do you tell ladies? Because you coach now, who aren't willing to invest in them. The man, they make excuses for the man not willing to invest. What do you tell them?
Well, I always tell them, a person puts their time and money, to me, is the same thing. And where a person spends their money or spends their time, if it's not with you, it ain't you, pretty much. We get caught up, I think ladies, we get caught up more with the fantasy of being in a relationship, the thought of being in a relationship, that sometimes we would sacrifice our desires or our needs or our wants just to have that label, just to say that when a person doesn't spend time with them, when they don't, you get their leftovers.
because you're asking me to get rid of one of my best friends, even though they're of the opposite sex. Now, what if you say it's just my insecurity?
What if so as a woman, let me dap my forehead.
You dap your forehead?
Let me dap my
and
forehead.
As you dap, the beads keep coming.
You know what, Kenny?
I'm just saying.
As a woman, we legitimately don't always have an answer. Sometimes it's just a feeling. And when I get that feeling, it's real. When I get that feeling, it is something behind it. I can't sometimes articulate. I can't tell you what it is, but I know that it's something. And when I say it's something, you better bet on that. Okay. You better bet on it. And so
but a lot of times you've had feelings that back in the day that I was poking something, but I wasn't. Your feeling was wrong. Years ago, you thought I was you was wrong. So your feeling don't always be right.
Kenny.
Look into the camera.
I've had real feelings. I've had true feelings.
Okay.
That were true feelings.
Back in the day, okay. Y'all, we talked about before we got married.
No. Listen. Recently, it was somebody that you were going to do a business deal with.
Oh, you were right.
I said,
and you were right.
I don't have a good feeling about this person. And you were like, what is it? And I said, I don't know.
And you're right.
I don't know what it is.
You're absolutely right.
I just don't feel good about this person. And you like, for a moment, I think you went back in our past. And you felt like it was my insecurity that I was feeling that I was being insecure
and I probably did. But you because you couldn't give me any reason why, and I'm being honest. But you ended up being right.
I was right
in that case.
I was right. I was right in a few other cases
but some
that
you
you'll
were
never
not,
say I was.
You were not so right.
There was some cases.
Can I tell you why I'm saying this?
I'm about to beat up again. She's finna beat up, and this ain't the sausage this time. No,
Can I tell you why?
Why, baby?
And I'm going to educate people.
Okay.
There's a difference between intuition and insecurity, but both of them feel the same. Do you know why? They're rooted in different things. They're rooted in different emotions. They feel the same. Like insecurity says something's not right. Now, or like, what's not right? Intuition says something's not right. Now, how does a person know it's intuition or insecurity?
How?
I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. Insecurity is based on a previous pain. I'm viewing this situation through the lens of pain.
That's good.
Okay? Of pain, trauma, something that hurts me, right? Mm-hmm. Intuition, I'm viewing it through the lens of curiosity. So let me explain that to you. You ever know, like this painting, we have a painting in here. Mm-hmm. You ever looked at something, you saying, dang, that's not quite right. And you realize it's off a little bit. Well, that's intuition. Because you are curious because there's something about it that doesn't seem right. It's not based on any pain point. Mm-hmm. It's based on curiosity. All right? And so a lot of times, but they present themselves very similar.
And there have been times that you explain it like that. It has been my insecurity and not
intuition.
I was still right.
I have to say that you weren't always right when it was based on insecurity. But I'm just simply saying that.
No, I'm just saying.
Doesn't mean that, and you were, I will admit that you were right sometimes.
I was.
But you have to admit that you were wrong sometimes too.
I don't know that I was wrong.
I'm telling you was wrong.
That's like the YSL trial, like them trying to tell them that they was guilty.
They are guilty. You just can't prove that they're guilty. They are guilty. You just can't prove it. Okay. Now, audience, what do you think? Audience, what do you think? What do you think? But first, I want you guys to see the video, and then we're going to talk about where we were, how we got there, and how you can restore your relationship. Came up with a conflict resolution system that simply saved our marriage. When I tell you it's so simple.
In the parking lot
of Wendy's.
And folks thinking they got to go on a cruise, a sabbatical,
right.
expensive vacation. And you saying in the parking lot of Wendy's.
And when we figured it out, I realized that I saw her differently than who she really was. Because we never really communicated like on that. We talked deep, but not on that level.
So what was the strategy that you all came up with?
You know, a lot of times when you're in a relationship, you feel unheard. She felt unheard. I felt unheard. And so the strategy worked around, we call it the Canion conflict resolution system. Here's how it works real quickly. So you take one issue at a time. And so when you discuss the issue, here I'm gonna give it to you in its simplistic term. What happens is if Brandy has an issue with Ken, right? She gets to talk unabated, not interrupted for 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm not looking at my time. She got to get it out, but I cannot interrupt her at all, right? Because she gets to tell me what she's thinking, what she's feeling. And then after she's finished, get this, I don't get to defend myself. I don't get to deflect. I don't get to protect what I'm saying, and I don't get to justify. I can only ask one question.
Wow, okay.
The one question is, what could I have done, or what can I do to make you feel different? You only get one question. Welcome back. All right, Ned. So
first I want to say thank you, Brandy, Harvey, and Vault for those what are those drink things?
Oh, she got the dopest gifts.
Oh my goodness.
Those
like the
coolers that
the drink
keep it hot
things.
or cold.
Yeah. Oh my God. I carry it to the
best.
gym daily. Thank you. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that video brought me back about when we talked about communication in relationships. And so what I wanted to do tonight, I wanted us to talk about where we were, because in the video I said, you felt unseen, you felt unheard. And then I said, I thought I felt the same way.
Yes.
But so my first question to you, I'm going to question you tonight. You know how you always ask me questions?
Oh, wow.
I want to interview you tonight.
Okay.
First thing I wanted to ask you was, what made you say, I need to explore change for myself too? Not because in relationships, a lot of times it's easier to point the finger at the other person and say they're the ones at fault. What made you say, you know what, I need to look at myself?
I think mainly because of what you just said. Nothing is just one person's fault. We were in a place that both of us drove ourselves there. Like it was on both of us. And I know what I was feeling, but I know you was feeling something too. And I couldn't expect for me to say, I need you to do this, and this. And I just stay here. I recognized that maybe not what I was doing, but I knew I played a big part of it. And I wanted my marriage. And so I was willing to do anything to keep, well, not anything, but.
You weren't willing to do anything?
I want to kiss Flav. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I hope you wouldn't. Then I'd never kiss you again. I would have never kissed you again. But okay. But you know what though, Ned? Even in the comments, that video, a lot of people said, I love it. But some people said, well, you know what? 5 minutes, that ain't enough. My spouse gonna need 45, 50 minutes. They ain't gonna let me talk. And what I realized is the conversation is still geared toward the other person. It's still, and so when I looked at it, when we were going through that, I'm gonna be honest with you. At first, I wanted to blame you. At first, it was your fault, whatever. But you know what I realized now? I realized I had never looked at myself. I was
that
like,
was
it
the
could be
same
my
for
fault.
me. Like it was, everything was on you. It was you.
Do that again. Look, how was you looking like that?
It was you. It was
Why you got to look down like that?
Me? You know what I'm saying? I was doing everything right. What?
Right. And so for me, here's I think the missing link in the relationships piece. I think people don't look at themselves because, or let me say, people blame others because it is easier to absolve yourself of responsibility, because with that responsibility comes accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability requires you to do work.
And I always say people want change, but they don't want to make change. They want the other person to change around them or what suits them or what they think is right in a relationship, and not what you have created together. And I think that that's something important that people need to know, is that I didn't just say, I'm going to do what's right for Ken, and you didn't say, I'm going to do what's right for Net. We figured out a formula, something that was right for us.
So I want to give y'all a little backstory. We're going to give, before the day is over, I'm going to give you the formula that actually saved our marriage. Mm-hmm. The formula. I'm going to give it to them. Because see, on that video, I only gave them a piece of it. Okay. Well, I gave her the whole thing, but we chopped it up. Okay. But I'm going to give them the whole formula that we came up with. But what I really want to say is the backstory from that video is that we were in Wendy's. We went to Wendy's. We were arguing at home. But you were like, can we just get out?
Let's go back beyond that. You had just come off of a reality show.
Yes.
And you had
The Biggest Loser.
Yeah. You had had to, because you were working and your job was to work out. That was your job. You did that all day long. And so the money was tight.
Yes.
The money was really, really tight. And between us that day, we had $7. We had $7.
$7.
And we were feuding in the house. And I said, I was being funny. I said, let's go on a date.
Is that what you said, a date?
Yeah, I said, let's go on a date. And you was like, a date? Let's just go out. Let's get out of the house. Let's go for a ride.
Look at my face. This is what I was like.
Let's go for a ride.
I was like, why? And then you were like, come on, let's just go. So I don't know why I went, because sometimes when people are arguing, they don't want to be around each other.
That's right.
I didn't want to be around you and you didn't want to be around me. But I ask you sometimes, what made you say, let's go for a ride? Let's do something else. What made you do that?
You know, this house was toxic. You know, this is where, because when people never knew that we feuded, the children didn't know, our friends didn't know, you know, that was, and so this is where it happened. And I wanted to get out of this toxic place. And as we were riding, I was a little bit hungry, you know, but we had $7. And I saw Wendy's had that $2.99 special.
And I wasn't even eating at Wendy's.
You were eating very, very clean at that time. And I said, hey, let's pull into Wendy's. I said, we're on a date. Take me out to eat. Let's pull into Wendy's. And you said, I ain't got no money. I said, they got $2.99 special.
And I said, I got $7.
You got $7.
No, I said $7 beforehand. And then you like, well, let's go to Wendy's. And I remember, and I was like, all right, whatever. And I was so sarcastic. And when we pulled through the drive-through, you were like, let's pull. After we had $7. The meals were $2.99 a piece, $6 and some change. And you were like, after that, I was just like, we're gonna go back home. But you were like, pull over into a parking space.
Pull over.
I didn't want to. What did I see? I remember me saying, for what?
You know, I felt like we had one foot in and one foot out. And I did not want to go back home not knowing where your other foot was.
That's deep. Right
you know, let's sit here and let's figure out what's wrong. What is the issue? Why is it that every time I say something, it offends you? Why is it that every time you say something offends me? Because we had a fun, loving, going together relationship. You know, what happened? And so I wanted to know, you know, what are we gonna, you know, do I need to go home and pack
pack my shit? But that's funny. You know, but the funny thing about it was when we went over there, when I was like, all right, I'll pull in the parking space. Because what you said was, we're going to stay here till we figure out what was wrong with us.
What's wrong with us? Yeah.
And then I was like, in my mind, I was like, we're going to be here for a while. Mm-hmm. Well, we were.
And we were.
2 hours and 42 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what made it bearable. At first, we were sitting there, and when you started talking, and I started doing what I normally do, here come another bitch session. Mm-hmm. But I thought you really tried to get to know me. Because you said one white. Now, why are you crying?
I'm just thinking back to that moment. It was such.
Why are you crying? But you said to me, and and it can be emotional, but you said, what can I do? That this started off. What can I do or could I have done to make you feel different about this relationship? That one question started a cascade or an avalanche of things to happen. It was the catalyst for us to change the relationship.
Because see, we were at a point where, we could not say, I'm probably like a raccoon now. We couldn't say anything to each other without it being offensive. And so my question was like, gosh, I don't even know how to talk to him now.
Right.
Right. I didn't even know how to receive from you either. And so what could I, or how can I say things better so that you'll receive what I say without it being offensive? And the crazy thing was, at first, you got an attitude when I said that.
I know. You know why I got an attitude? Because I was like, you should know. You should know what to say.
Wow.
That's when it clicked. Mm-hmm. That was when everything turned around. Because I looked at you and you looked like you were really confused. I was like, she really does not know what she could have said. Mm-hmm. But you know the funny thing about it was? Mm-hmm. I didn't know either.
You didn't know either.
I didn't know either. So I don't know, all I can say is at this point, that was when I decided, wow, I don't know what it is. And a lot of people out there in the audience, how many times have you ever asked somebody, look, what can I do different? Mm-hmm. But here's, now I know why that statement worked.
But here's the other thing though. How many times have you done what you did in the beginning and said you should know? I shouldn't have to tell them. I shouldn't have to show them, And it was like, but it was the same for me. Like, I didn't know the best way for you to speak to me. I never thought about how I should be spoken to or how I should be handled. I just knew I didn't like the way I felt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that little piece is what flipped things around. How long would you remain in a marriage where you felt trapped?
Ooh.
A, till death, as you stated in your vows. B, it depends on if your spouse is willing to seek counseling. C, depends on whether or not there is a prenup. Or D, long enough to pack my bags.
Where I feel trapped, though.
How long would you remain in a marriage that you felt trapped?
I would say
where you felt trapped.
I would say, which is C is the one where
depends on whether or not there was a prenup.
B. I would say B.
It depends on if your spouse is willing to seek counseling.
Because that's what me and you did. B. Because I felt trapped. No, I felt trapped. We couldn't communicate. You remember we've done that video.
Not being able to communicate on how you trapped nowhere. That ain't finna go wrong. Trapped. You felt misunderstood, but trapped. You felt like, wasn't nobody listening to you, but trapped. I should have picked another card.
We was arguing.
Let's go to counseling. Let's just say B, and that's just it. Audience, what do you think? How long would you remain in a marriage where you felt trapped? A, till death, as you stated in your vows. B, it depends on if your spouse is willing to seek counseling. C, depends on whether or not there's a prenup. Or D, long enough to pack your bags. If you're trapped, I think you should just go on and pack your bags feeling trapped.
I don't feel trapped no more, but I felt trapped.
Dog, who knew that? I didn't. Look, y'all have a very Merry Christmas.
Thank y'all. And I don't feel trapped now, though.
Look, that was the wrong.
That was a good card, though. That was a good card.
Look, things that went wrong.
All right, y'all.
Thank you for joining us.
We appreciate y'all joining us. Thank you so much. And baby, thank you for setting me free.
And I do want to say this. This is the first year that I haven't gotten so wrapped up in giving actual presents. We had a rough time with my mother the latter part of this year with her health. And it really made sense to me that it is the presence and not the presents. Wow. I'm just grateful. And so, guys, let's spend this holiday season loving and not caring so much about what you did or did not receive. All right? Just being in someone's presence. And so thank you guys again for joining us, and we wish you